Welcome to Eugene Holden's Academy of Self-Mastery, where we learn to move with purpose and live with power. This is your space for healing, for growth, for the questions that shape you and the truth that you know. We use the tools that are ancient, still working today, to steady the heart and light up the way. Breathe in, tune in, come back to center. One step, one choice, you can always get better. Master yourself, master your life. Walk in your truth and breathe through the fight. Master yourself, stay awake, stay clear. Eugene Holden's Academy is right here. Let's begin together.
To me, that word SEE is meaningful personally, and then it helps with the vision personally, and then it helps with the vision in our life and with other people. So I like it very much.
Yeah.
You know, seeing with our faith, or seeing beyond the, would you say, Al, the darkness? Seeing beyond the dark. Yes.
Having faith in the darkness, even having faith while in the darkness. That word see, let me get to my dear friend, Reverend Lloyd Barrett. He sends
and also when we don't know how things are going to be taken care of, like we talk about a lot, my money situation is still super tight, but I had to be in Honolulu. I was meant to be there. You know what I mean? It was a fibrous knowing that had to happen. So it set me back. And then Jazz reminded me when I was there, well, Mom, the deposit's yours. So once I sign out of the house, you're getting the $2,000 back from the deposit. That's
okay.
That's when I was like, another example of, I don't need to know, things are taken care of. And when it's meant to be shown, it'll be shown.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a friend, Reverend Lloyd Barrett, who's 87 years old, and he has this beautiful voice of God. He goes, prayer man. And he sends me some really great stuff, like the word see. Securely energize every day. WXYZ, wisdom, expand your zest. Yesterday, was it yesterday or two days ago? Reverend Lloyd lives in Henderson, Nevada. Before I get there, YES, yes. You exude success. Weather prediction was 112 above. 112 and above. Weather, WE-AT-HER. We at her mercy. I'm like, whether
Mother Earth.
You are fun. But he's such a great poet too, just a wordsmith.
And Eugene, wasn't he the same? I looked him up. We talked a while back about this. The reason you must pray.
The reason you must pray.
Yeah.
TRUMP.
MP. Yeah. The reason you must pray.
Yep.
I'm reminded of that every day in every way.
Yeah. Even in that, that's having faith in the darkness. Is that the way that you put that, or am I missing a word? Having faith.
I think even having faith, even in the darkness.
Yeah, even in it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's having faith in faith.
Yeah.
How can it be the double? But it is, because we can have faith, and yet you've got to believe in what we're believing in.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
And allowing ourselves, I'm mindful of this, that allowing ourselves, giving ourselves permission to be in whatever our stuff is,
Yes.
and then remembering, I know a power that's greater than me, and I know how to turn to it, whether it's just something simple and short, because I always remember this, that I don't know who said it, maybe you, Eugene, I don't know, but it simply said, what we think about, we bring about. So what am I thinking about right now? What am I thinking about? That I'm going to lose my eyesight forever? Then you better change your mind, girlfriend, otherwise you will. But and just to be mindful in that, and to remember to have faith in that power for good, and it lives and breathes within us, and to turn to it. Remember to turn to it,
Yeah.
by taking our attention off of what we don't have, that the darkness, and by, even though it's dark, we can still have the faith to go and say, oh, I remember when, now I get to choose differently.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, that's when I want to practice my faith. And for me, faith is not hoping or wishing. For me,
Mhm.
faith is knowing. And
Mhm.
so even in those dark times, that's when I want to, as much as I possibly can, and as soon as I can, go, okay, no, wait a minute. I know it's dark right now, but I have faith. I know that this is turning around. And it may
Mhm.
take whatever time it takes, right? It may take, half an hour. It may take a half a month. But as
Mhm.
long as I stay in that knowing,
Mhm.
it's like, sheesh, man, okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I tell this story. I may have even mentioned it here on one of the shows. I'm sure I did. 23, no, 24. God, how time flies. I went back to work as an optician, which I had been doing, for years and years back in the day, and got a great job. This was the only time in my working career where I could turn down job offers.
Mhm.
Right. And I had choices, right? And the one I chose was perfect. As an optician, most opticians work on the weekends because it's a retail thing too now,
Mhm.
right? And so this one, the clinic was closed on the weekend. It was great. And within 2 weeks of me being there, it's like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
But I went back to work because I needed to pay bills, right? And that's why I'm like, you need to get a job, dude. So I got the job, and it was again within 2 weeks. I'm going, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, and do it well. But like, this is not it. So I'm like, all right, Spirit, we got to come up with something else.
Mhm.
And I think I was there for 6 to 8 months. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore because it just was so heavy on my soul. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to quit this because I can't do it. And I have faith that I know that something is going to work out.
Mhm.
Now, it took a year or so, but now I am in the best place in my life. Elle, it was you who said when we were on last month, um, about, and it's not that I settled, but I've landed,
Mhm.
right? And having the faith just to know that everything is working out for our highest good, and then be, as you said, Sharon, to allow it to happen,
Mhm.
as well as to allow ourselves to go through that darkness. That's important, to allow ourselves to go through that darkness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Ellen, you said something earlier, and it was about money. And you said, I'm paraphrasing, but you said you just had to allow, or to trust that you were going to be taken care of, even though money was, the appearance was, the darkness was, wow, money's really tight right now. How am I going to do this and this? But I felt it from you that it was, oh wait, I have faith past this. I'm gonna be taken care of. You didn't say being comforted, but that's what I felt from you. And I think that not I think, it's that feeling. It's the feeling that says, "Whew, okay, I'm just going to allow spirit to take over, knowing that I am being financially supplied right now. I'm just going to allow that and be comforted in that moment of I'm being taken care of, and then move it forward, just be in that. Because for me, it is always, it's never really about the intellect for me, because I'm not that girl. It's always about how am I feeling? If I'm angry, and I know it doesn't work because I can tell when I'm angry. That solar plexus, and I get all hot and bothered, and my head gets hot. I mean, literally, my head gets hot. So I have to temper it down to see how I am feeling in that heart chakra. How am I feeling from the solar plexus out, and what am I resonating to in that? Because what I have learned for me, what I am resonating to in that feeling is what I am going to be bringing about. So I need to monitor it.
Yes. And I was just about to say what ties into that was when I was going on this trip, I told you all when we were in the green room, I felt it fibrously, like it was in every bit of my body that I was going. But the external circumstances were not showing that to be the truth. So I kept holding the vibration of the truth that I was meant to be there, and everything worked out. And then previously, when hubby passed away from the aneurysm, here one day, gone within 24 hours, I survived that by knowing that I was being held in God's hands. I
Mhm.
knew that I was being held. I could feel it. I could feel that I was going to get through this. And I still give thanks every day for, that's always there for us. And then when my apartment complex caught fire while my mom and sister were visiting back in April, I was angry with God. And I said, I was just angry. I just vented, and things that people say, you can't talk to God like that. I'm like, well, I did. And here's what happened. I said, I laid this problem at your feet. I
Right.
didn't call this in. I didn't ask. So I went from being in God's hand to now I'm laying things at his feet. And I'm open to whatever this is about. And the message that I got clearly was, because no one was hurt, things weren't, no one was killed, no one died, things weren't really damaged too much. The message I heard clearly was, people don't have to die for you to appreciate them more.
Mm.
So it was
Mhm.
this, because you know how that is, right? When people dies, when we
Mhm.
all of a sudden the toothpaste being wrong isn't a big deal, and you know what I mean, all
Yeah.
these things that
Yeah.
we would do anything to have them back. So
Right.
like something could have happened to my mom at 84 years old, right? With the smoke and the everything, but it didn't. So now we're spending more time together. And
Mm.
so we don't always have to know, uh, and we need to keep our vibration high, even when the
Yes.
appearances aren't showing in our favor, even in the smoke of the fire, even in the loss of the death of a loved one, even, in these situations. How can we still keep our heads high and know that every
Mhm.
day it's my job to wake up, show up, get out of bed, brush my teeth, be decent to other humans when I'm outside, fuel my temple. Like there's these little checklists. Let's
Mhm.
just do that. And then things will start to
Mhm.
come in.
El, I'm glad you said that because I was going to, when you said, we have to, we are to keep our vibration high. And my question was going to be, okay, great. Somebody's going to see this and say, okay, I hear that. And how do I do that? And then you gave some examples as
Mhm.
to how, right?
And
Um,
this is the beautiful thing about the Academy of Self-Mastery. Just right in what we just did, or what Elle just did. It's the beautiful thing of it, because there are practical tools that one can use. You don't have to have years in religious science or any other, there are just these practical tools that we can use to change our mind about. If, for example, if you're tired of not having enough money, then change your mind about it. Change your mind about it.
and
Mhm.
there
And
could be more to that too.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
But don't you think for the academy though, because everybody's not like as conscious as what L is. They're not. People are coming in and they're saying, "Oh, let me hear more about what this is." And for me, I like the practical part of what the academy stands for, meaning I can do this too. I mean, maybe I haven't been to church in 20 years, but I can do this. I can change my mind, or I can say, well, I'm going to work on this today. I'm going to say that affirmation that says, I have more than enough financial supply to meet my every need. I might not believe it right now, but I'm going to say it and I'm going to see it. I'm going to prove these guys right or wrong, you know? And that's what I love about the academy, because that's what it does. It is
Prove them
about
right or
self-mastery.
wrong. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was doing a talk a few weeks ago, and towards the end of the talk, I said to my community, this is, don't believe anything I say. Try it for yourself.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Prove it for yourself,
Hmm.
and it takes consistent practice,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
darkness shows up in all kinds of forms.
And it wouldn't be an episode if I didn't bring the neuroscience into all of this, right?
This is true. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Thank you very
You're
much.
sponsored by neuroscience.
Sponsored by Neuroscience by Ella Grinnell.
I love it.
And so partly to what both you were just speaking about is when we do affirmations, to make sure the way to get the most out of them is to be careful not to go too big. So if you say somebody's trying to quit smoking and then they say, I no longer smoke, I no longer smoke. So number one, neuroscience, that's a negative comment. You want to be positive. So at minimum, you could say, I'm smoke free. I'm smoke free. However, if it's a big leap, the brain goes, who are you talking about? Our pathways go here. Whoever that person you're speaking about isn't. So what does a baby step look like, right? So a baby step looks like, well, I've never smoked. So baby step would look like, I enjoy being able to taste my food again. I enjoy having white teeth again. I enjoy having my nails look nice. The baby steps that smoking help us accomplish. Um, so affirmations work when we take baby steps, and then they work when we make sure they're positive. So instead of saying, I no longer eat junk food, it can be, I enjoy adding an apple a day to my diet, or and that's then we get a bigger ask, and the brain goes, oh yeah, so we've built the path instead of standing at the mountain looking up going, I can't do that. And yet we all know that it's one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, off my soapbox.
No, I like that analogy. I like learning about your I always say this word, linguistics or
Neurolinguistic programming, yes.
yeah, I really like learning about it because I'm so unfamiliar with it, and you are an enlightened woman in terms of this. And what I hear in it, for me, I have to get that born and raised South Dakota girl. You got to have some good cowgirl sense in it. And and on the practical side, I can make cowgirl sense out of this in terms of this is what the brain does, and this is what we have to do. And it's very practical in its thinking. And then I get, I'm a step girl and I'm task oriented. So I get the steps in that neurolinguistics. I get the steps of what you have to do. And then for me, I can make it applicable to that everyday living in whatever the challenge might be, So
Wonderful.
thank you for that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You got to take it from thinking to doing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because Eugenia and I are in the book that's out, The Law of Subtraction, which explains a lot of this in a lot of different ways. And it's the subtitle, The Law of Subtraction, the missing piece to inner peace, love, and freedom, I think is the subtitle.
Yeah.
And so that's a great read for people who want to know more about how to make this kind of stuff we talk about every week sustainable. Because people say, well, I tried that and it didn't work. Well, yeah, that's because you tried it. You didn't do it.
You didn't do it.
there's a difference, right? So if I try to brush my teeth, that's not the same as I do brush my teeth.
Right.
I
And
love
that's
that practical
that's a
analogy.
big
Right.
distinction, right? And so that book is really helpful for people to get the sustainable steps in
Mhm.
baby steps and pick the one you like, because there's so many different ways to go about it.
Right.
Find the one that resonates with you and says, oh, okay, I can do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The law of subtraction. What do I need to subtract from my life to live a bigger, life?
Mhm.
Yeah. The
Mhm.
missing piece to inner peace. Yeah.
Say
Mhm.
that again, Eugene. I missed it.
The law of subtraction. What do I need to release or let go of so that I may live a bigger life?
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
The missing, this law of subtraction, the missing piece to inner peace,
Inner peace.
love and
Yeah.
happiness. Yeah.
Ooh.
Love and happiness.
Yes. Because it's easy. And I did this with my business. I had to shift it when COVID, during the pandemic, because I was no longer speaking on stages and teaching fitness classes. And so I paid a lot of people to help me learn how to sell from like this kind of stuff and things I
Mhm.
didn't know how to do. Well, I spent a lot of money learning things that I didn't want to do. So I
Yeah.
didn't do
Oh my God.
them because
Yes.
I didn't
Right.
want to do them.
Right.
Mhm.
And also, a lot of people made empty promises
Mm.
that I didn't learn until after I had invested and spent the money.
Yeah.
And so we don't want somebody, in my opinion, I would never go forward paying a coach who's going to do it for me.
Mm.
Nor would I pay a coach where I listen to the modules and do it myself, because I know I won't do that. I want somebody who's going to hold my hand through the process, keep me accountable,
Mhm.
help me
Mhm.
show up, kind of grade my work, so to speak, is what I would look for. So there's a lot to be said about only doing those things which bring us joy and passion, and then drawing people into our lives to do those things that we don't. Like if
Right.
somebody can afford a maid, that's great. You hate housework, great. That's their career. You're supplying them. So all that time and money spent, and there's times when I say I wish I could have that back. But for most of the time, I pull out the little bit that I learned. That was the law of subtraction. That's where this was going.
Mhm.
Out of all that time and money spent, there were things that when I, pull out what was good, there's
Mhm.
value in that, and I still use it today.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes.
Take what works and let go of the rest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm going to start teaching a class in 2 weeks called, everything for me is like the art of mastery, diving into your genius, the art of mastery, diving into your genius, based on the book The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And what reminded me, Elle, was what you were saying is, to take, you spent all this money and do that you didn't really feel you didn't want to do these things. In the book, he talks about that as well. Is, so for me, hiring somebody to do what's not in my zone of genius. For example, the optician job, zone of excellence, do it great, not my genius. So let
Mhm.
me subtract that from my life.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, I'm trying to bring it back to having faith even in the darkness. Oh, wow. Okay, great. Here it is. As we start to progress, right? There are things that happen that will happen in our lives that shake us up, right? And it seems so dark because we're making the shift. And the egoic
Right.
mind goes, oh, right. And sometimes we experience these dark times because of the shift.
Mhm.
What's that saying? There's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not an oncoming train. It's actually you beckoning to yourself.
Mm. Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
good, Joe. It's good. Gene, way to
It's
write
so
that down.
silly. Shortly after the fire, I woke up one morning and I was super dizzy. I'm lying down. I haven't even sat up yet. And my feels like my brain is swirling, feel real
Mm,
swirly in here. And so because of decades of the work that I do, my first thought was, oh, I'm going to step into my alternate reality this morning.
There
I
we
didn't
go.
think what's wrong with me or
Right.
be careful or nothing.
Mhm, mhm.
And I got up and I was still a little swirling. I had to hold the wall a little bit. And I'm still honestly thinking like, what's going to happen, because I generally imagine good things, going forward. And so it turns out it was vertigo and I got it fixed. But it's just, that's an example of the more you continue to think positively, even when things aren't going well, you can continue to think positively,
Right.
Mhm.
even if it seems ridiculous.
Right. And I really believe, Sharon, that that's the most important time to do that is when things
Yes,
aren't going well.
yes,
Like, nope,
yeah.
nope, I'm staying here. I'm staying committed and
Mhm,
committed to feeling better. No, I don't have to
mhm.
feel great. Just let me feel better.
Better. And
Yeah.
those are the steps that I was referring to earlier. I don't have to feel great about this, but just let me feel better. And then I can feel a little bit better and a little bit, more and more and more. And it really, for me, it always gets back to, there's that piece of scripture from those old Bible days and it says that there is a power that is within you that John, the apostle, I think it was Paul or maybe John. There is a power that is within you that is greater than the one that's in the world. And I remember that. I hold it. I hold it because that power that I grew up with in that Baptist church where, and it is still applicable today in this world that there is a power that is within us that's greater than this nonsense that's in the world. So turn to that,
Yeah.
turn to that and find comfort in it.
Yeah. Ralph Waldo Emerson said something similar. Oh, that which is within you is greater than anything that's outside of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the
Mhm.
practice is to have faith in that. Or another way to
Mhm.
put it is to have faith in oneself.
In the one self,
Yeah.
the yourself, you're talking
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
To have faith in yourself. Because
Mhm.
you'd be surprised to ask that question. Because how often or how much do you trust you? Right. And I've had clients go, well, not really, because I've done this. And I'm like, here's the key word that you just said. You've done this, that, and the other. So that's history. You
Mhm.
quit telling the story. You are
Mm.
here now. So trust you.
Mhm.
And that's a practice.
Yeah, that's the practice.
The practice
Mhm.
is to subtract all those thoughts that say that I can't trust me.
Mhm.
You see how I brought that back out? Subtraction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, you did.
You
Yeah.
could imagine in your mind the mall, the map in the mall when you're shopping, and there's you are here. It's a
You are
red
here.
sticker or an arrow. And then you can see, oh, I could go here, I could go here. Like, for example, I would never
Beautiful.
go to the food court when I could go to a restaurant. So choose where you want to go. Like, do you want to go fast and easy, tummy ache later, or do you want to spend a little more money and time and sit down and go here? It's up to you. But we are always here, and the options are always
Yeah.
abundantly
Yeah.
present. So choose, take a breath, slow down, and choose wisely.
Mhm. Beautiful analogy, Al.
I'm going to
Hmm.
repeat what you said. We are always here, and then we have all of these abundant choices.
Mhm.
Which way do I want to go? That
Hmm.
brings me joy.
Mhm. And then we always come home,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
We always
Yeah.
come home.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love it. Perfect. See, I love how this ends up. It is always perfect. Always perfect.
Mm.
So, in closing, I'm going to ask each one of you, starting with you, Reverend Sharon Barone, what would you like to leave the folks with today?
I would like to leave the folks with this. See your life clearly as possible. So when you're looking at that map, that Elle was talking about, and it says, we are here, you are right here. See if you want to make the left or the right for the good. See it clearly. See it clearly. No one can see it for you. You have to hold it right here. And then you determine what is going to bring you joy out of seeing that map clearly for your life.
Thank you.
Hmm.
What about you? I'm going to call you Professor Al Gradell.
I like it.
I do too.
Actually, today, what was coming to mind just now, because, I'm audio voyant, right? So I'm always hearing things. And what I heard was there may be people watching and listening that say, but I'm at the bottom of the barrel. The tank is empty. I can't see clearly. I can't feel one positive vibration.
Beautiful.
So there's no hope for me. And so today in closing, I want to say that's why we're here. All of us are available to chat with you.
Right.
Because we've been through it as well. None of us came from privilege and, are just talking about, wouldn't it be nice? We've been through and over and around. We've done the head and shoulders, knees and toes over and over again. And so reach out. I mean, I'm sure our connections are down at the bottom of the YouTube notes or whatever it may be. So if you're really resonating with somebody, we're here also to spend a little time with you.
Thank you for saying that, Elle. Which takes me back to having faith even in the darkness. I'm at the bottom of the barrel. I can't feel this. And finding some way to go, yeah, but I know that there's a way out. I know that I can connect with Elle or Sharon or Eugene or Melissa. So reach out. Having faith even in the darkness. And again, for me, folks, faith is not a hoping or a wishing. Faith is a knowing. Faith is a knowing. Even in the midst of whatever's going on, know that you are supported. And we're here for you. So once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of this Academy of Self-Mastery. And we'll see you next time. Peace and blessings, everyone.
Peace and love.